We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Do not forget to ring the notification bell. Welcome, everybody. This is a beautiful Sunday, May 24th, Memorial Day weekend. I hope you all are having a great time remembering being with the ones that you love and remembering the loved ones that you have lost. Thank you for joining us, at least for a little bit here. College football, every weekend is college football weekend, even during the off season here in PATC country. If you want to support this Rebel Outpost, this independent national Rebel Outpost channel, hit that dollar with a donation, hit that $sign where you make your comment, and I will get you super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio. Everybody, including those evil Hawkeyes, those evil Badgers. Welcome on in to the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. I got a little bit of a steam here. Got a little steam, a little chatter behind the curtain. Again, Where this is going, I do not know. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. But there is even more momentum. More momentum for the college football playoffs to expand to 24 teams inside the Southeastern Conference. Been told why. And then I'm like, somebody really nailed this. It wasn't I. It was not the fat guy from Minnesota, but it was Mr. Klatt. We're going to go over his comments of 5-6 days ago. It's been a while. I did not really cover it because I thought, I've already said this same stuff 1,000 times. But there was one little bit of information that we were told this morning. That matches what Klatt reported. Let me break it down to you. 16 doesn't work. It does not work economically. It does not work. The question that is rising in the Southeastern Conference is, 12 doesn't work. It doesn't work and it's only going to get worse in a couple of years from now. So we're going to talk about it. It's almost like, there's a lot of smart people out there. A lot of people are giving razzmatazz arguments. Why are we going to 24? We shouldn't even be thinking about 16. Reese Davis, 24 is absurd. And a 16-team playoffs is borderline absurdity. The problem is 16 doesn't work. And 12, the beautiful 12-team playoffs that I loved the last couple of years, it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. You know why it doesn't work anymore? For the 90% of you college football playoff fans that keep voting against the playoff of 24 teams, 90% of you, because 90% of you do not look at the bowl games the same way you used to. The apparatus, the bowl system is collapsing. Why? Because of you, the consumer. So, the 90% that Josh Pate and everybody else is, look how favorable this is. We can't go to 24. 90% is against 24. The same 90% is shooting holes through the bowl system. You want the programs, right? You want everybody to invest this money, right? To pay the players, right? To pay the bills, right? To have enough revenue for your non-revenue sports, right? This parity has been great. Look what Vanderbilt just did. Look what Indiana did. They won the Big Ten championship. They won the championship. SMU's in the playoffs. JMU's in the playoffs. This has been outstanding. Except for the fact that more and more programs are investing more and more millions. They're going into debt. They're priming the pump. They're creating LLCs in their athletic departments. They're having bake sales. They're doing everything they possibly can, looking at private equity, possibly getting into private equity, Utah, and more probably following. They're doing all these things, and we're getting parity for it. But you're going to keep the access to 12 teams? When the bowl system is collapsing at the same time? Talking about blowing a hole in all of these athletic departments. Raising the bar. You keep raising the bar to be considered a successful season. You keep raising the bar. It costs a lot more money to get to that bar, and you're narrowing the access to get to that bar. 12 ain't going to work. It worked. It worked at the beginning of the NIL transfer portal era, but it ain't going to work going forward. It ain't going to work going forward. So, all of this is leading more and more and more momentum to the college football playoffs in 24 teams. Now, add on to this. Okay? Now, you all know that PATC, in large part, PATC country supports the college football playoffs in 2014. This community, this YouTube channel, this college football YouTube channel, we are the minority big time. Now, I know you guys were a little unique. I know you guys are a little crazy. I know you guys are college football sickles. I see it every single day. I think you're not giving yourself full credit. I think you guys are a little bit more sickle, a little bit more unique, a little bit more crazy than you even give yourself credit for. But the Southeastern Conference, the momentum is growing. Because everything I just said, and we're going to go through Joe Klatt's comments on this. Everything that we just said, the Southeastern Conference is saying it internally, as we have been told this morning. There are literally athletic directors saying this. I'm not going to quote, I'm not going to give verbatim to what I was told because that might, whatever. But basically, the athletic directors are saying, wait. We're doing all this stuff, right? We're doing these NIL deals. They're going through NIL Go. Some are being denied, some of them being okayed, and some of them are just sitting there in purgatory. We've got issues. We're making more money than ever before, and we're spending way more money than we've ever before, and we're basically making it, barely making it, paying our bills. We've had a little skim out the top when it comes to funding our baseball team, our basketball team, just for the football program. And you guys, you're telling us that we've got to squeeze through this 12-team playoff access to be considered to have a successful season, to have to go back to our boosters, our corporations, everybody that has given all this value to the name, image, and likeness players that have the South Carolina Gamecock logo on, the Mississippi State logo on, the Ole Miss logo on, the Georgia Bulldog, the Tennessee Volunteer, the Missouri Tigers, the Sooners, the Long. We're going to keep this at 12-team playoff access when the bowl system, the bowl games, success, losses, wins, None of it matters. It matters even less and less. That is the true participation trophy. That's what the athletic directors are saying, and they are about to crash the gates in SEC country. This is what we have been told this morning at Peek Around the Corner. It doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work. You're asking a program. Forget about Georgia. Forget about Alabama. Okay? Forget about the top teams in the SEC. You're asking a middle SEC program or a bottom SEC program to compete, and they're putting more and more money in. And even when they compete, and even if they go 10-9-3, 10-2, the chances are less than 50-50 they're going to make the playoffs. Look at Vanderbilt last year. That hurts college football. That hurts people and keep investing. If Vanderbilt, come on. Look, I'm sorry, but I know a lot of you are upset with me, but you've got to give me some grace today. Today and Monday, these are the last 2 days that I can go to war on. I've got to be able to put this out here. Because next week is so damn important. We have come so far, the army of 24. Are you telling me Vanderbilt, just take Vanderbilt. What if they would have been able to have a home first round game last year in the playoffs? What if everything that they did to go 10-2, that they would have had a first round home playoff game? What would that have done for the program? What would that have done for the ticket sales next year? What that would have done incredible for that program. And then you say, well, great. If that's the case, your last couple of regular season games, it would not have made them as much value. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to use a term that my father would use. Baloney. When Vanderbilt played Tennessee last year in the last game, and they were 9-2, it was a big game. They're playing the rivalry, but we all knew that there was a 96, 97, 98% chance that Vanderbilt was not going to get to the playoffs. How is that making the regular season more valuable? No one brings that example. There's so many examples, but nobody wants to write it, especially if you're from one particular media company. Vanderbilt, a whole lot of SEC programs. I'm focusing on the SEC today, because truly it's up to you. Truly it's up to the Southeastern Conference. It's not up to the Big Ten. They've made their bed. They've made their call. They made their position clear. It's not up to the ACC. They flipped. It's not up to the Big 12. They flipped. It's up to the Southeastern Conference. And I'm telling you today, the information that we received this morning, it is more momentum to the college football playoffs of 24. The bowl system is decaying. It is cracking. And who owns the ownership, the distribution rights of all these bowl games. ESPN. They don't want to see the value of these bowl games trickle away, but they are. So Southeastern Conference, you got to look at ESPN straight in the eye and say, we support the 2014 playoffs. Not only that, Southeastern Conference, but if you want to go silo, if you are about to go silo, and I understand the reasons why you want to do that, because what are the other options at this point? Big Ten, if you want to go silo, but again, we're focusing on the Southeastern Conference. Thank you, Eva Badger. I will get to your donation in a moment. Thank you very kindly, sir. I appreciate all your support in helping us keep this channel up and running, and it is growing like crazy. Thank you, Eva Badger. Thank you very much. I will get to you in a moment, sir. I appreciate you. If you want to go silo, all right, if you want to do this partial breakaway, where you're going to make your own rules, your own enforcement in football, but yet participate in all these other sports under the NCAA umbrella, a partial breakaway, it's going to be a lot easier not to have that political blowback. It's going to be made a lot easier if you do not go for a partial breakaway, but yet still stay at 12-team playoffs. It's going to be a lot easier, Greg Sankey, if somehow you make it work it out. That is a 24-team playoffs, more access, more teams coming into the playoffs from the Big 12 and from the ACC, along with the Big 10 and the Southeastern Conference. It's going to make your silo a lot easier to do. And I believe that the Southeastern Conference has that as part of their internal debate this week. 16 does not work. It does not work. If you want to cancel the conference championship games, which a lot of people want to do, those 4 extra playoff games is not going to do it. It's not going to replace the money on the conference championship games. We're going to get into all of it. Thank you very much. We've got a big show. Thank you, Eva Badger. 5 gifted membership. Kevin Haro, Orange Hoof, Jeremy Nork, Leo Quite Hungry, and Lou at Large were all gifted a membership by the Eva Badger. When you get an opportunity, please say thank you to Ryan Willie, the Eva Badger. He is a legendary PATC family member, an OG. Thank you, Eva Badger. All of you are officially knighted. Cloak and Dagger. You can go to a library of episodes, watch all the episodes, including members only early peak, Cloak and Dagger. Thank you, Eva Badger. I very much appreciate it, sir. And then we've got a $5 holla. $5 holla. Eva Badger. Greg, Mark Rogers, a voice of college football, is against expansion of the CFP because it will ruin the regular season. I think you and Mark should have a debate. Hopefully I can get back on his show. I've been on there a couple of times. Had a great time. Mark is a great guy. Congratulations to Mark Rogers and his beautiful bride. Just got married. I just saw a video of it. Congratulations, Mark. Job well done. Job well done. All the blessings to you and your bride and your family. That is absolutely fantastic. Looks like it was a beautiful day. They got married on the beach. Beautiful. When he settles back in, I will ring him up and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, I think, again, just my opinion, but I think the arguments, I would just respectfully disagree. But Mark Rogers is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Eva Badger. Moen After Dark Super Chat. Moen After Dark. By the way, College Football Mafia Show had a great show Friday night. If you did not see it, go check it out. Go check it out. Moen, Wild Jude, and Becky Go Husky. They were on absolute fire. It was a great show, entertaining as always. Go check out the College Football Mafia Show Friday night. Moen, Go Becky, Husky, Becky Go Huskies, and the Wild Jude. The Wild Jude lost it a couple of times. It was a lot of fun. Moen After Dark. Greg's so cold, he can look at a nuclear reactor and make the cooling towers take a day off. Well, I'm just going to say the following. After about week 3 of the 2026 college football season, I'm going to be on such a heater. I'm not even going to be able to look at a nuclear reactor because it will blow. It will blow. And the winds will take the nuclear fallout all the way to Columbus, Ohio, the state of Ohio. Moen After Dark, thank you for the $5 holler. And Moen, if you want to see some true heat, you go buy that AEW pay-per-view Double or Nothing. It is going to be a lot of fun. Moen After Dark. Order the pay-per-view. Sit in your lazy chair. Crack open your favorite whatever you drink nowadays, your whiskey, and go watch a pay-per-view. MJF, Darby Allin. MJF is going to get his hair cut off. He's going bald tonight. He's going bald. Thank you, Moen After Dark. I appreciate it. And we've got another $10 holla. We got a Sun Devil Sooner here. We've got Mr. Cope. Excuse me. Sun Devils were a mere 4th and 13 from defeating Texas. Army of 24 will be a success in years to come. Thank you for the $10 holler, Cope. I appreciate it. Yeah, they were an eyelash away. Great play by the Longhorn quarterback, Ewers. Great play, but the Sun Devils were this close. Yeah, we'll get into it. Thank you, Cope. I appreciate it very much. Appreciate your support, sir. Mr. Sooner, Mr. Sun Devil Cope is in the house, and I do appreciate it. Thank you for your generosity so very much. Ed Hawk, I love the show, Greg, but Vandy and Tennessee were paper tigers last year. No participation trophies. All right? No participation trophies. No participation trophy. I keep hearing this over and over and over again. And that's the thing. People who are arguing against expanding the playoffs to 24 teams are actually destroying their own argument. You don't want participation trophies. So you don't want bowl games. Because bowl games is exactly that. This younger generation is starting to, they turn in their backs. They're not talking about the bowl games. They really don't talk about them before. They don't talk about them after. It's not increasing season tickets. It's not increasing merch. It's not doing anything. Not anymore. That's the true participation trophy. So what you're telling, you've got 138 schools out there. You've got 68 power programs out there. And they're paying the players now millions and millions and millions of dollars. And when this happens in the NBA, the playoffs expand. When it happens in the NFL, the playoffs expand. In the NHL, the playoffs expand. You cannot keep believing that people are going to keep harvesting the field over and over and over and over again, but they're never able to sell their crops. It doesn't work that way, not in competition. If all these schools are going to be paying millions of dollars, breaking the bank, looking at every couch cushion, doing all they can, and you're only going to let 12 in. Oh, and we might not even let the correct 12 in. Even though the talent is distributed more evenly than ever before, we're only going to let 12 in. Because we have to have the regular season mean so much. It doesn't mean a whole lot. That's the problem. If the bowl games don't mean jack, it isn't. I'm going to be honest. I don't think people really want the people who are supporting the 12 versus the 24. I don't even think it's about wanting the regular season to mean more. I think it's about wanting to eliminate teams very quick in the season because you believe they're paper tigers. I mean, if BYU would have defeated the Red Raiders in the Big 12 championship game, I would have had comments here going, well, Miami was a paper tiger. Their Hurricanes were a paper tiger. But they weren't. And neither was Notre Dame. And Vanderbilt was a great story. A storyline that should have continued. That's how you create more interest. The storylines. BYU. Why do we want to take a baseball bat and just crush people on the knees 3 weeks into the season? That makes those first 3 weeks really more valuable. But what about the other weeks? What about November? I thank you, Ad Hoc. I appreciate you coming on in. You said what a lot of people are thinking. But this is what I'm battling, right? This is what I'm battling. I'm battling the economic forces of consolidation. I'm losing, but I'm battling. I'm battling this idea that everyone's going to go in their silos and they're going to separate. I'm losing, but I'm battling. I'm battling against this, well, it is the college football regular season that makes college football so special. Baloney. It's college football that makes college football special, despite its regular season. The same people, I should not say this, but I'm going to say it. We are days away from the Southeastern Conference going to Destin, Florida, and making a bloody decision on this. So I'm gonna let it all loose. We've got a whole bunch of people that want to consolidate. They want to go in their own silos. They want their own playoffs. They want to eliminate teams left and right. Let's eliminate the G6. Let's eliminate the Big 12. Let's eliminate the ACC. Let's eliminate the bottom half of the Big 10. Let's eliminate the bottom half of the SEC. The forces of consolidation is meeting the forces of let's have a small playoff and then the bowl games are shattered, what does that leave us? Yeah, I'm gonna keep fighting it all the way until the end. Woo, boy. Hold on a second. Hold on. Thank you, Cope. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ed Hawk. Thank you, John Grove. We've got the incredible, edible, the Oklahoma State Cowboy BLG with another 5 gifted memberships. Fred Call Me Sean, Bertie Madoff. Ooh, we got the Colorado Buffalo FF18 Buffs. Chalk Smack. I like that name. Chalk Smack. Mountaineer in Jersey. We're all gifted a membership by the incredible, edible, the one and only Bill G, who has been giving out gift memberships for well over a year. All of you are knighted, cloak, and dagger. When you get an opportunity, please say thank you to Bill G for his generosity once again. Thank you, Bill G. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. The WWE is better than the AEW. Vanderbilt did not deserve a playoff spot last year. Okay. All right. Dr. Fakin, just make a 2014 playoff, get rid of conference championships, get rid of bowl games. You're the man, Bill G. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Charlie Atwood, late to the late to the party, Army of 24. Greg, name 3 teams outside the P4 that can win a national championship. Can't. Name one. Can you name 5 teams outside the SEC and the Big Ten, not Notre Dame, that can win the national championship with this growing financial gap? It's going to be very difficult. Very, very difficult. I would agree. I would have said that about Indiana, though. But again, they're in the Big Ten. They keep getting that media money. I can't do it. But that doesn't mean that I'm against the college football playoffs with 24 teams. I don't think you want to make, again, for me, a playoffs has to do a couple of things. It has to crown a legit champion. And it has to increase the value of the regular season. And then it has to have dramatic playoff system, a good playoff system. And 12 teams is not enough, not in this day and age. Not with all this talent spread out. Miami barely got there. And look what they did. They almost won the whole thing. Notre Dame could have made a big run at it. Who knows? There could have been other teams in there. We've got this massive roster movement every year. We got 50 new guys coming in, going out. So these teams, are they really ready by the beginning of the season? 12 is not enough. I'm surprised. Like last year, it was obvious that 12 was not enough. And 16 economically doesn't get it done. I mean, there's a lot of teams in the college baseball tournament that can't get to the World Series. In college basketball, women's basketball, all these things. It doesn't mean that you shrink up the playoffs. We've got Mr. Buffalo FF18 Buffs, a gifted membership to Jamie the Bengals girl. Ooh, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Buffs, for giving her a membership. I very much appreciate it. Jamie, you know how it is. I hope you're doing well. I'm praying for you, Jamie. You are knighted. Cloak and dagger. Cloak and dagger. Thank you so much, Mr. Buffalo. Appreciate it. Mr. Buffalo, gifted membership to Jamie Bengals. Jamie, nice to see your name in the chat room. I hope you're doing good. Colorado Buffalo, thank you. Very kind of you, sir. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. Studzilla is a genius. Studzilla is a genius. Chris Kenny, the college football is financially successful but so broken. The G6 and the FCS do not play with the same resources. Save the 70P4 as Tier 1 and have a real 12-game season where 70 teams only play each other. Okay? Chris Kenny, here's the problem with that. That's the argument that many in the SEC and the Big Ten are having about the ACC and the Big 12. You make these arguments that cuts the G6 out. Those are the arguments that they make to cut the ACC and the Big 12 out. And that is the same argument that a lot of you have made for Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, USC to kick out Illinois, Rutgers, Minnesota, and Purdue. These arguments get used by the upper tier. Once you cut out the G6, then the Big 12 and the ACC become more vulnerable because the resources is starting to separate at that level as well. And it's going to get even worse after the next media rounds. That's the problem. Okay, let me see if I've forgotten anybody here. And we've got Skaven, yes, the Cornhusker. Congratulations, Lady Huskers softball, by making the World Series again. Wow. No, that's the first time they've ever done it, right? I believe. Anyway, thank you, Skaven. Yes. Thank you so very much for becoming a member once again. 22 months. Knighted Cloak and Dagger. 22 months. Okay. All right, we'll get back to your comments, and we'll get to your phone calls as soon as possible. But first, we got to get to our I Do Declare update. Our last one, again, was prediction number 67. Auburn finishes with losing season. Heartbreak. Evaluation of 1 point. If he gets it correct, he gets a point. If he gets it incorrect, minus 1 point. Again, if you want to get into the I Do Declare prediction competition, you super chat a prediction. It cannot be a chalk prediction. I get evaluation through 1 through 5. Your super chat is going to go to the Special Olympics of Minnesota, the proceeds. At the end of the season, at the end of the national championship game, we are going to tally up all the predictions. People are going to gain points. People are going to lose points. And whoever has the most points is going to be declared the I Do Declare college football prediction champion. And then I'm going to send them a trophy created by societyawards.com. It's going to have your name on it. We're going to ship it out to you. So it's going to be a lot of fun during the season to keep track of how these predictions work. It's an opportunity to give you guys, the Einsteins, to give all of us your bold peek around the corner for the 2026 season. We've been having a lot of fun with it. We're up to 67 predictions. 67 predictions. Now, before we get into the article that I want to get into, before we get into what Joe Klatt says, and then we're going to tie that in neatly with what I was told this morning about what is going on in Southeastern Conference country as they go to Destin, Florida. The growing momentum for college football playoffs of 24 teams. Will ESPN, will the presidents acquiesce to the wishes of the athletic directors and the coaches? We're going to find out. We are going to find out together. But first, talking about the Southeastern Conference. Talking about a program that is pro college football playoffs of 24 teams. The spotlight today is squarely on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Let's get into it. Quarterback Kamario Taylor, first season last year, 629 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, 55.8 completion percentage, 143.3 quarterback rating, 458 yards rushing. In the short time that he played, 458 yards rushing, 629 yards passing. So, this coming up season, what is the over and under on the number of yards Kamario Taylor runs for? If he plays 12 games, how many yards is he going to run for? How many passing yards is he going to pass for? It could be something like 1,500 yards running, 1,700 yards passing. But anyways, Kamario Taylor, he's going to make some big plays this season using his legs. Absolutely. Absolute thoroughbred. We'll see if that passing game develops for Mr. Taylor and the Bulldogs. Fluff Bothwell. Now, we talked about him last year. He transferred from South Alabama. I think it was South Alabama. He had a fantastic season, went in the portal, went to Mississippi State. Did not quite have the season that he had in the Sun Belt. And that's to be expected, going from the Sun Belt to the Southeastern Conference. But Fluff Bothwell should be RB1 for the Bulldogs. 677 yards rushing, 4.8 yards per rush, 6 rushing touchdowns, 14 receptions, 105 yards receiving. A tough, bruising running back. Physical beast. So with Taylor and Bothwell running the football, Mississippi State's probably going to have a pretty good running game, but it's their passing game. Who knows? But wide receiver Anthony Edwards is going to lead the passing game. Wide receiver number 1, he is coming back. Starkville, 67 receptions, 831 yards receiving, 12.4 average per reception, 4 receiving touchdowns. They brought back wide receiver number 1, and that is a good thing for the young quarterback Kamario Taylor. Defensively, they got a pretty good secondary. Let's start with cornerback Kelly Jones. 11 pass defenses, 1 interceptions, 20 solo tackles, 34 combination. Kelly Jones, the leader in the quarterback position, but they've also got Isaac Smith, very talented Isaac Smith. 14 solo tackles, 64 combination from the safety position, 1 sack, 1 interception. The secondary is going to be looking to be pretty good for the Hell State Bulldogs. Here is the regular season schedule. They begin the season against the University of Louisiana Monroe. Then they got to go. They got to they got to get on a plane. Mississippi State Bulldogs, they got to get on a plane and they got to travel to where? Huntington Bank Stadium at Minnesota. Woo! Now, here's the thing. When they're playing Minnesota, they're going to be thinking more about their first SEC game a week later on the road in Columbia, South Carolina. I think so. South Carolina, Missouri, Alabama, LSU. Woo! Oklahoma, Texas. Woo! Vanderbilt, Auburn, Tennessee, Chattanooga, and Ole Miss. There's a part of that schedule. Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma, Texas. I tell you what, Mississippi State better get that win. They better get that win at Minnesota. And I don't think they're gonna. Here is the SEC, my SEC prediction. Top 8. I got Mississippi State down at number 15. So yes. I'm not going to feel any pressure. When Mississippi State comes to Minnesota. Nope. A 15th rated team in the Southeastern Conference is not going to beat my beloved Golden Gophers, who I've got at number 8 in the Big Ten. Mississippi State not going to make it to a bowl game, which no one cares about anyways anymore. Mississippi State, number 15. Tell me how wrong I got it in the chat room. This has been your Mississippi State Bulldog Spotlight. Kamario Taylor is going to be fun to watch. And he is going to break off some big runs against my beloved Golden Gophers. The Golden Gophers, number 1 in the Big Ten last year in sacks. They're going to be number 1 in the Big Ten in sacks this year. Mississippi State's going to run that ball. Kamario Taylor is probably going to have a big day on the ground. But the Gophers beat Mississippi State 37-23 bucket. Greg the Gold bucket 37-23. Gophers. Eva Badger, Mississippi State defeats Minnesota by 7. Levy gets fired after game 3. I think MBM is an absolute genius. Okay, so that was your spotlight for Mississippi State. And again, I'm going to put them right below Syracuse there. We have done, that was our 35th team. Mississippi State, 35th team that we have done a spotlight so far during the off season. We've got 33 more Power 4 programs to do a spotlight on, and then we're going to do a handful of G6 schools. So we got a long ways to go. We're having a great time with that. Doing a little bit of a deep dive, not too much. We're going to do it again in July and August. The football magazines come out. We'll talk about the coordinators. We'll talk about the offensive defensive lines, the new coordinators, new head coaches, and all that stuff. Okay. What about Klatt? What did Klatt say here? Excuse me. What did Klatt actually say? First and foremost, it's important to understand why the ACC and the Big 12 opposed previous expansion models, particularly the one initially put forth by the Big Ten. Those formats relied heavily on automatic qualifying spots, in some cases granting 4 bids each to the SEC and the Big Ten, while offering fewer guaranteed spots to the ACC and the Big 12. The ACC and the Big 12 were never going to support a model that effectively asked them to acknowledge they were lesser conferences. Their objection was never really about expansion itself. It was about unequal access. What those conferences opposed was a system that locked in preferential treatment for the SEC and the Big Ten through automatic qualifiers. So when the Big Ten came to the table with a new model, one that eliminated automatic bids in favor of a selection-based format featuring the 23 best teams and one group of 6 representatives, it immediately piqued the interest of the other conferences and was more in line with what they were looking for. Most fans are against the college football playoff expansion. Why? Clat, there is a real element of frustration amongst the fans when it comes to this proposed 2014 model, and here are some of the main reasons why. The 12-team model worked. And it did, kind of. It was beautiful. However, let's read this first. The 12-team model absolutely worked, Joe Klatt. There's no doubt about it. And while it might seem to some that a 2014 playoff seems inevitable at this point, that's actually not the case, because in reality, it doesn't really matter what the Big 12, ACC, Notre Dame back. It only matters what the SEC and the Big Ten agreed upon. Those two entities actually control the future of the CFP. The others gave them the right to have that power, and they will control this playoff remaining as it is, expanding to 14, 16, or 24. If the SEC and the Big Ten had agreed on an automatic qualifier expanded playoff, it would have happened by now against the wishes of the other conferences. But they weren't aligned at that point, and they still aren't aligned at this point. So because of that, we are sitting in a very similar spot as we were before, where this is not inevitable. If the Big Ten and the SEC do not agree on a model, which they don't right now, then nothing is going to change. This would ruin the college football regular season. Joe Klatt, there is an argument being made that college football has the most important regular season in all the sports, and I don't disagree with that. That sentiment is not wrong. We see this in the NCAA basketball tournament, which is now expanding beyond 70 teams. So what would stop college football from expanding beyond 24? If there's more revenue at 24, isn't there more revenue at 32? I get this argument. I don't think it's wrong. I think the only answer to that is format. A lot of the regular season and the importance of the regular season would be determined based on the format. How many buys are there? How many home games are there? If you can get a bye or a home game, you're going to play hard. Multi-layered incentives. What impact has the NIL and transfer portal had on college football playoff expansion? Joe Klatt, if it weren't for the NIL and freedom of movement, the 12-team model probably wouldn't have been the success it is now. Absolutely true. In the 4-team era, we would have looked at a 12-team model and thought, who cares? The 13th ranked team would have never won a championship. But with the NIL, with the transfer portal, and the agency players now have to move around, the roster partly has increased. Now there are more than 12 teams capable of competing for and winning a national championship. What role do the bowl games have in college football playoff expansion? Now we're getting to the interesting part here. Joe Klatt. Bowls don't mean anything anymore. It pains me to say that because I love bowl season. Now, all the upper to middle class bowls in college football, it doesn't matter. All these bowls were fantastic. The Alamo, the Gator, the Citrus Bowl, all these bowls that could define a program as successful, that's no longer available. The collapse of the bowl apparatus is real, and it is, and it is, and it is. So All these teams are spending all this money. But yet, now we've really condensed on what a successful season is. Because how dare we expand the playoffs past 12 teams? It doesn't make any sense, ladies and gentlemen. Of course we've got to expand to 24. The more I look at this, and that's why I think, this is why I think this is why the momentum is growing, not dying in the SEC. Because when you sit down at the table, you look at everything, you want there to be at least a decent amount of opportunities for your program to declare it's been a successful season. You got to think about ticket sales next year. You got to think about boosters next year. You got to think about signage and sponsorship and ad buys. You got to think about investing in this and that. If the bowl apparatus is breaking apart and you got more teams at an evil level, you've got to expand the playoffs. And 16 doesn't work, but 24 most definitely does. Back to the article. Who is driving the college football playoff expansion? Coaches and athletic directors are driving this. The SEC and the Big Ten are going to drive this. It's not just silent Tony Petitti. It's not just Greg Sankey. It's the people who they work for. It's the presidents of those institutions that are ultimately going to have the final say. Coaches and athletic directors are now trying to convince their presidents that they need this expansion because what they fear, PATC money shot of the article. PATC money shot of the article. Coaches and athletic directors are telling the presidents today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day in the Southeastern Conference, they need this expansion because what they fear is the middle class is going to stop investing. And why shouldn't they stop investing? If you're going to make a bowl game that doesn't mean anything, that nobody cares about, that your boosters don't care, your fans are not traveling to, why, if you can't make this very small 12-team playoffs out of 138 of 70, why should people keep investing? And if they stop investing, then we lose the parity in college football, which we have all fallen in love with here recently. That is what is driving the Southeastern Conference. Right there. That is what's driving them. That is what is driving Mississippi State. That is what's driving Arkansas. Missouri's had very good teams. But again, the 12-team playoffs, it's not big enough. It's not. It just ain't so. And 16 doesn't work. The coach's viewpoint is this. They want a wider definition of success. And with that comes the desire to shorten the season. They want the conference championship games to go away. And that is a major piece of this conversation. In fact, that is one of the primary reasons the proposed model expanded beyond 16 to 24. Listen now. Everybody listen to this. Please, 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 please listen to this. These coaches do not want the conference championship games no longer. And to replace that money, 16 doesn't work. That is one of the major reasons, the primary reasons, the conversation has gone to 24. 16 doesn't work. 12 doesn't work. 24 works. Why is the 24-team model being proposed and not a 16-team model? Joe Klatt. If you get rid of the conference championship games, which you would have to do in order to finish the season around January 1st. You then have to recoup the revenue those games generated. So in order to expand the playoff and eliminate conference championship games, you need to increase the value of the CFP. You can't really do that with a 16-team model because it only has a handful of games, and those games likely will not command enough value to offset the loss of the conference championship revenue. I don't think the conferences are looking to break the bank with the expanded playoff. This is not about generating another $1 billion. They're trying to recover the money they would lose by eliminating the conference championship games. And then finally in the article, I think a lot of these conference commissioners would sign off on a 24-team college football playoffs even if they only break even financially, because it would broaden the definition of success across the middle tier of their conferences. In their minds, that would create more meaningful regular season games, particularly late in the year. So one of the major points of info that we're all going to receive at some point during the SEC meetings in Destin, Florida. One of the major points of info is they're going to have somebody tell the presidents, this is our projections. They're going to have some consultants come in and say, this is what we believe, how much money that the playoffs would make if you go from 11 games to 23 games. And if that number is enough to refill the coffers of the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Big 12 as they eliminate the conference championship games, then that is going to be another big step forward in finally getting this done. Again, as I said when we began the program early this morning, I was told that there is even more momentum for the college football playoffs of 24 teams. Economically, the bowl system is collapsing. You want your middle tier teams to keep investing in football? You better give them a better opportunity to have that positive storyline after the season is over. All right. Let's get to your phone calls. Again, I think I missed out on a Kenneth Maynard super chat. Kenneth Maynard super chat. Thank you for the $5 holla. The SEC and the Big Ten will not keep the American Conference out of the CFP. They have Army and Navy, and they have serious weapons. Why? And I always come back to this. Is it really worth the political is it really worth all this to eliminate G6 representation? Okay, so let's say G6 team goes in the playoffs and they get blown out. Blowouts happen. They happen all the time. Indiana, Alabama. Ohio State, Tennessee. It happens all the time. Why are we so offended by it? It happens in the NBA. It happens everywhere. Why do we get so offended when a G6 team gets blown out? The college football playoff money is helping these athletic departments of these G6 universities pay their bills, which is giving opportunities to the student athletes to play football, which is giving an opportunities for these student athletes to actually go in the portal and improve themselves, to go with a bigger program, more exposure, if they choose to do so. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. But thank you, Kenneth Maynard. Thank you for the $5 holla. We got another super chat. $10 holla. Kenneth Maynor, congratulations to my East Carolina Pirates baseball team for winning both the American Conference regular season and now, minutes ago, the conference tournament again over the University of Texas San Antonio. The Roadrunners on Omaha. Go Pirates. Congratulations, Kenneth Maynor. Congratulations to East Carolina Pirates. Thank you very much for giving us the update. And we are going to do an East Carolina spotlight. East Carolina is on the list of our teams that we are going to do the spotlight on. Thank you, Kenneth Maynor. Appreciate it very much. Stephen McNeely, if the Big Ten and the SEC were about to go in the silo, why would they even care about a college football playoff format? Because I think they're looking at a partial breakaway. I think, remember, we got the College Football Playoff LLC, which they're a part of, which the Big 12 is a part of, which Notre Dame is a part of, which the ACC is a part of. They've got that contract that runs to 2031. I guess they could rip up the contract. They could try to do all that. But I think they're looking at the possibility of partial, go in their silo, make their own rules, enforce their own rules, and at least at first try to play nice with everybody else to continue with the college football playoffs. I think, again, we are on uncharted waters. The silo talk is going to dominate the SEC meetings, but also the college football playoffs. So I want to talk about it today. I don't think, now again, at first, I don't think it's going to be an extreme silo. If it is, if the SEC is willing to just do their own playoffs, then buckle up and brace for impact. We're going to be very busy here at Peek Around the Corner. The drama that will create will be unprecedented. A partial breakaway is going to be unprecedented. But that's my answer to that. Thank you for becoming a member for 30 months, Stephen McNeely. I appreciate you, my friend. Nice to see you again. They definitely are serious about the silo, but I don't, and I bet they're working on some playoff plan outside of the current CFP, but I think their intentions were to continue on with the CFP contract. I think. We're going to find out. Thank you, Stephen McNeely. Thank you for becoming a member for 30 months. Stephen McNeely, you are hereby knighted, cloak, and dagger. OBD done. Super chat. The purple and gold. The purple and gold. OPT done. So what you're saying is you stop investing and you still get in the college football playoff of 24 teams. Then you will have non-investors making the college football playoffs so the meek get rewarded without an effort whatsoever. Got it. Nice. Thank you for the $10 Holly Opie. I disagree, Opie. I disagree. Because those teams are investing. Those teams are, again, this is different than before. We're in a new world. There are reports that there is no Big Ten football program that is spending less than $25 million on their football roster, if you include rev share and NIL. The SEC is probably higher than that. Big 12 is like the Big 12 Schools are going into their auxiliary funds at their university to get enough money out so they can pay. I think all those teams are investing. Now, I'm going to flip it. I'm going to flip it on you, purple and gold. I'm going to flip it on you. These teams are investing, and what if they don't ever quite make it? Because it's only 12 teams. And of course, there's schools that have the advantage of making it versus others because their history, their fans, their recruiting grounds, whatever, their conference. Then that investment money is going to dwindle. It's going to dwindle. And it's even going to happen in the Southeastern Conference. South Carolina, Mississippi State. I mean, it's going to happen to some programs. You want them to be incentivized. You want them to make it or have a shot at making it once every few years. Once a decade at least. Some of you sit in a perch on top of the college football world. You're a fan of a major program. But most of us are sitting here going, I got a little glimpse of hope. I got a little glimpse of hope. No, that's not really hope. We want hope, Opie. We want hope. And we're willing to pay for it. We're willing to give our dollars. We're willing to buy a seat. We're willing to do what is needed. Just give us hope. 12 is better than 4. But 24 is the perfect number. Opie, I got a spot waiting for me. You sit right here. Get on the bandwagon. Get on the bandwagon, purple and gold. Thank you so much for your generosity. I appreciate it, sir. Jacoba Cat. I do declare if a Hawkeye told Greg the sky was blue, he digressed in the semantics. What is sky? What is blue like? What is a fair catch? I don't know what is wrong with you Hawkeye fans. I honestly don't understand it. Why do you keep bringing up the word fair catch? It was not a fair catch. It had nothing to do with a fair catch. The Iowa Hawkeye fans keep bringing up this phrase fair catch. It was an illegal hand signal. The guy wasn't trying to do a fair catch. The referees didn't even ruled it as an illegal fair catch. That had absolutely nothing to do with the play. But yet people in Iowa keep getting it wrong. It was an illegal hand signal, which means you cannot forward the football if you're the guy who grabs the football after doing this crazy hand waving. It's a simple rule. The Big Ten came out right away and declared, and another thing with you Iowa Hawkeyes, let me tell you something. Minnesota has beaten you guys, what, one time in the last decade? One time. And it was a win. But you guys cannot get over it. My goodness, you Hawkeyes. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the Gophers to take that pig home. You don't deserve the pig, Jacoba Cat. You do not deserve the pig anymore. But thank you for the $5 holler. I appreciate your generosity. Thank you, Jacoba Cat. Thank you so very much. OBD Don, purple and gold, purple and gold. Simple. If they don't make it, they go to Bob's Burgers and get a big and juicy cheeseburger. Oh, that's disgusting. That is absolutely, oh my gosh. Oh my God. I guess most of them would do that. Most of you who have been indoctrinated into the cheesification of America, you would probably suffering a loss late in the season. You did not get to the 12-team playoff. You would probably go out and buy yourself a juicy cheeseburger. Wow, this country is in trouble. Thank you, OBD Don. You, my friend, 30 months. Holy smokes. 30 months. My goodness. You are hereby knighted. Cloak and dagger. Once again, my friend, thank you very much. Thank you, OPD Don. Thank you, Stephen McNeely, for becoming members for 30 months and 30 months. Both of you, 30 months. Thank you, Jacoba Cat. Appreciate it. Okay. Stephen McNeely, Super Chat. Greg, have you selected the game for your first watch party this fall? I'm going to show you guys something here. Thank you for the $5 holler, Stephen McNeely. I do appreciate your generosity. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, what's going on here? What is going on? Why isn't that doing what I want it to do? God. I don't want that. I don't want that either. Oh boy. Taking a look at this here. North Carolina TCU, Dublin, Ireland. North Carolina State, Virginia. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Now, that's Saturday, August 29th. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do both those games. But if I can't, boy, there's a lot of North Dakota State, Jacksonville State at the Fargo Dome. First game for North Dakota State as an FBS program. Mike Norvell, New Mexico State, Florida State, USC. Probably one of the international games. I really want to do. Boy, I'm kind of split. I really want to watch CJ Bailey. So that North Carolina State Virginia game, I'm pretty interested in that game. The little general's calling me. I'm pretty interested in that game. I don't know, Stephen McNeely. That is my answer. If I had to choose one of those, I'm going to try to do both of them. That's my answer. That is my answer. Thank you, Stephen McNeely. I would like to do both those games. North Carolina TCU, North Carolina State, Virginia. Both of them I have great interest in. Thank you, Steve McNeely. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Mark's Holy Grail. He's got a little bit of an issue with me here, which is fine. I wish you'd be more honest about the Big Ten. Their 2014 playoff selfishness and their silo intentions Patini only cares about the Big Ten, doesn't care about anything about the rest of the CFP. That's what his words. Is Tony Patini thinking about the Big Ten? Yes. Is he doing this for the interests of the Big Ten and the media partners? Yes. I don't think the 2014 playoff is selfishness. We just disagree on that. The silo intentions, I think it's going to get a little dark. I would agree with you. I don't want the silos. I'm explaining to you for months. I've been the Paul Revere. I don't want it to happen. I don't know why you're saying I have an honesty problem. If the Big Ten goes in the silo, if they get the 2014 playoffs, that's going to open up more expansion. I've sort of tried to explain that to people. I don't think it's an honesty issue. But pure selfishness. One more thing, it's a lie that you can't do CCGs with a 16-team playoff. They could, but the question, they could on the calendar, but the coaches want to get rid of it. So if you get rid of it, a 16-team playoff doesn't provide enough value, enough money to replace the money that you're going to lose in the conference championship games. Again, not a lie. But I do appreciate you coming on in. Mark's Holy Grail, I guess you are not for the Army of 24, but someday, hopefully, you will jump on a board. We've got Pacific Northwest Ute to Dalahala. Super chats, fajitas, cheeseburgers. Fajitas, cheeseburgers. Fajitas are outstanding. Once in a while, the little general will make me up a fajita and bring it to the bedroom or watching TV. And man, it not too good for the fat guy of Minnesota's health, but really good for the taste buds. Let's put it that way. Thank you, Pacific Northwestern Ute. I appreciate it very much. The little general is gonna. I do not have to pick her up. Thank you, Maria. Appreciate it. I saw that you called, honey. But I got people yelling at me in the chat room. I got people yelling at me in the chat room. Thank you, honey. Appreciate it. Now I do think. Marcus Williams, if you're a fan of a certain Big 12 or ACC schools, this silo talk should make you excited because that would trigger expansion as soon as possible. But if you're not one of those teams that are a candidate for expansion, it's going to make you really nervous. This silo talk is not good for the entire Big 12, for the entire ACC. And again, I think there's a lot of different ways that this could go south for the Big Ten and the SEC. But I think it's even more of a danger time for the ACC and the Big 12, and I've talked about that before. Got it. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it, Mark's Holy Grail. Appreciate it. One more thing, I like listening, respect your takes, reasons. I was not calling you a liar, was calling Petiti that. He's trying to avoid showing the numbers to justify 2014 playoffs. Thank you. Appreciate it, Mark. We've got a $5 holler from Jacoba Cat. UFOs are dimensional travelers. Don't assume a 2D, two-dimensional reality tech can't outpace species based on three-dimensional reality. Our tech is better than the tech of five-dimensional squirrels. Is our... okay, Okay, I get it. You know what? Strangely enough, I do understand the super chat, Jacoba Cat. Jacoba Cat is diabolical, and somehow I do understand it. Hammer Henderson, thank you, Jacoba Cat, Mr. Hot Guy. Appreciate your generosity and your very interesting super chats. We've got a $5 holla. Can the Big 12 ACC follow it up for the Big P2 ambitions by threatening to kick non-football basketball sports out? Yeah. I don't know how. I do not know how this is going to go. I mean, yes. Can Jamie Pollard's words be actionable? Can the Big 12 say, screw it, we'll break away from you? You want to break away from us, we'll break away from you. Or if you're going to break away from us, you got to break away everything. I mean, lawyers are going to get involved. Politicians are going to get involved. But I keep going back to the same point. What are the options other than going in their silos? What are the options? What is the solution, ladies and gentlemen? Because they've tried this, and this, and this, and most likely they're going to try something else. Thank you, Hammer Henderson. I do appreciate it. I do not have enough time to open up the phone lines. I apologize. I plan to do an hour and 30-minute show, and we are an hour and 31 minutes into it. A lot of great comments, a lot of super chats. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. The Joe Clad article went a little longer. So I do apologize for that. Monday, Memorial Day Monday, I will make sure our live show tomorrow that we open up the phone lines early. And we give a long time for phone calls. I also believe we may be coming on early again on Monday, just like today and yesterday. But we shall see. And maybe we'll make it an open line Monday show. Because look, we are at the precipice for a major important week. And we have been sounding the horn on this for months at Peek Around the Corner. We did not come to the story just lately. We've been on this story for months. So we're going to keep covering everything, and especially the Southeastern Conference meeting. And do I know where this is all going? No, I do not. This is college football, Peek Around the Corner. We do not have a crystal ball. But I can tell you from reports of this morning, the momentum is still growing. Is it enough for ESPN to acquiesce? Is it enough for Greg Sankey to have serious conversations with ESPN in the next month or so? Is it enough to get to a college football 24, even if the SEC is planning to go in their silo? Is the SEC going to go cautious silo, extreme silo? We do not know. We do not know, but we're going to cover everything. And all the reports, the chatter behind the curtain, that led us to be able to report to you early on that all this was coming down. Whatever chatter I get from here to tomorrow, to the next day, to the next day, to the next day, to the next day, I'm going to report to you all as soon as I possibly can. Very, very heavy drama here in the month of May. The Southeastern Conference. Listen to the fat guy from Minnesota. Listen to a guy way up in northern Minnesota with a thick Minnesota accent. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Go and support the college football 2014 playoffs. Army of 24. We're gathering the troops. We're going south. We're going to get this done. We are going to get this done. I want to appreciate everybody for joining us. I appreciate it very, very much. We got another couple $5 holler. Greg must be afraid of facing my Aggies in an expanded playoffs. That's why he's skipping my super chat from 5 to 10 minutes ago. Hold on a second. I didn't even see it. I'm not afraid of nothing. $5 holler. Greg is 100% correct. Burgers are way better without the cheese. Looking forward to better games this upcoming season for my Texas A&M Aggies. Gig 'em. Thank you, Bricks. Brick Bat is accounting. Appreciate it. You are a wise one. You got to hand it to the Texas A&M Aggie fans. They know a good burger when they eat one. Thank you, Brick Bat. I appreciate it. Sorry, I missed your super chat. I apologize, sir. Absolutely. And we're not afraid of nothing. Well, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. But, woo! That'll be fun. And again, and again, and again. 2014 playoffs. We're willing to spin. We're willing to spin. Just give us a little bit of hope. Give us a little bit of hope. Thank you, Brick Bat is accounting. Appreciate it. Evil Badger. The one thing I'll agree with the Mad Gopher is that the cheddar wurst and the cheese dogs are gross. That is the worst thing on earth. Don't put cheese in the middle of a dog. Don't put cheese on top of a dog. Don't put cheese anywhere on any meat. And your life is going to be so much more enjoyable. I want to thank everybody. I'm running way late. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Until next time, which is going to be tomorrow, Monday, May 25th. Open Line Monday, we're going to call it. Please, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much. God, family, Golden Gophers.